Hello, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and this is episode 73 in my Automate Everything Minecraft series. In today's episode, I plan on building the biggest fusion reactor that you can possibly build within the default configuration of the NuclearCraft config file. So that would be a toroid size 24 reactor. Before I do that, there are a few upgrades I need to make. First off, I need to be able to tap into the existing fluids that I have at my main base. So I need to build a fluid storage bus. Now, that recipe is actually rather easy. It's this right here, so I'm going to grab that. I'm also going to grab an export bus or a fluid export bus or whatever it's called. I have not used these, so I really hope they work. Yeah, that'll be fine. And we just need to throw these into my applied energistic system here, and then we can get on with our lives. Okay, so I need to grab a storage bus actually I need to grab two of these right here. So let's do that, and then let's grab some covered cable as well. And that should be plenty. So let's hook up some of my fluid storage to my applied energistic system so that I will have access to it at my new mega power generation area. Anyways, I have some dense ME conduit right here, so I'm just going to tap into that. So let's grab some more dense ME conduit. And actually, I don't even need the dense variety, but I'm going to use it anyways. So I'm going to put some just across right here. And the two fuels I'm going to be using for this reactor are Deuterium and Tritium here, because they are the most powerful types. So I plan to use these. And to connect these up, I need to do that, and then this and that. And hopefully, I've never used fluid storage buses before. Hopefully everything works out. And now that that's all plugged into the system, let's just clean this up real fast. And then we can move on out to the new area. I need one. Do I need one more? I don't need that one. I actually do need one more, though. For this right here. And then we can use this. Are these online? Okay. So let me check that these are actually showing up real fast. So I'm going to do that by typing in, let's see. Okay, so I'm not, oh, okay, so I think I need a special terminal to actually access that stuff. But I'm not going to worry about that for right now. I'm just going to hope that it works, which might be naive. But anyways, let's take a nap, and then we can head on over to the new base and start construction of the reactor. So this thing is going to provide an insane amount of power. Unfortunately, I will not be able to run it all the time because I just won't have the resources to do so. But I definitely want to see what it can do. So that's kind of the reason why I'm going to be building it. And if you didn't see last episode, I built this monstrosity right here. It can provide up to 1.7 million RF per tick, which is obviously a very large amount. So if you like watching people tinker with Extreme Reactors, definitely consider watching my last episode. But anyways, let's move on to actually putting down the fusion reactor. I have already kind of taped everything out as far as where stuff will be. And the fusion reactor will be between these blocks here. And then let me grab all of the electromagnets here and some of the fusion connectors. Okay, so I don't need that anymore. Let's grab that. First off, let's place down this fusion reactor. It goes right there. And then I need to place down the fusion connectors here, and each segment is going to be 24. No, it's going to be 23 of these fusion connectors. My bad. So let's put that there for right now. I'm just using this kind of as a buffer zone. So I'm going to create 4 stacks of 23. And then that should work perfect. We're going to have to double up one of the stacks, but that's not a problem. Okay, so for a toroid size 1 reactor, you have no fusion connectors, and you actually have the electromagnet up against the reactor itself. And I placed one too many right there. Okay, so that is one side done. Then I need to do that on all of the sides right here. But for a toroid size 24 reactor, so you have 23 of these fusion connectors. Okay, so I need to have 23 left. Perfect. And then the last 23 go over here. Next step is going to be making the ring of electromagnets. And what I'm going to do for this step is I'm actually going to build something like this on each side. I'm going to punch out the middle. And let's do that real fast for all 4 of these. And then I'm going to grab a builder's wand, because that's just going to make this process a whole lot faster. And if you are not familiar with how to build a fusion reactor, I would definitely suggest watching another video, either my other videos where I make like my first fusion reactor, for example, would be a good one, or someone else's videos. But fusion reactors can provide a lot of power, and I'm going to be building the largest size fusion reactor I can possibly build in this episode. So let me grab some more fusion electromagnets, and then I'm going to grab a builder's wand. I will probably need more than one, actually, but how I'm going to do this is I'm going to flip the mode to this, and then we are going to build like this. And oh, whoops, apparently that is still not the right mode. I think this will work though. And that still is not. Okay, this might be the right mode then. Yes. Okay, so now for the corners. The corners are special. They still need that open block in the middle here. And that's how you do corners. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the rest of these electromagnets out off camera, because it's literally the same process I just did for this quadrant right here. So once I have the rest of the electromagnet built out, I will be right back. Now that my electromagnets are all built out, I actually need to get them power. So this is going to be a 2-step procedure. First off, I'm going to lay down a bunch of flux duct, and I definitely will probably, but I believe I should use this right here, the Cryo-Stabilized flux duct, because I will be using a lot of power to get through these electromagnets. So how I'm going to do this is the bottom, I'm going to run the flux duct all the way around right here, and then on these will power, this flux duct right here will power the outside and the bottom electromagnets, and then for the inside and the top electromagnets, I will run some flux duct right here. So I have to do this all the way around the reactor. That's going to take some time. So I think I am going to go ahead and do this off camera again, because like I said, it's going to take quite a while for me to do this, and it's just monotonous. So after I have all the flux duct laid down, I will be right back. Now that I have all of the flux duct connected up to the electromagnets, I actually need to get everything powered. So what I am going to do is I'm actually going to make 2 separate capacitors. Now the first capacitor will be to draw power from my main grid, from the Cryo-Stabilized flux duct that is down there, and that capacitor will power the electromagnets. The second capacitor I'm going to build is to actually jumpstart the reactor itself. Now the reactor, to start a fusion reactor from the mod NuclearCraft, you need a large amount of power to jumpstart it, because for fusion to happen, you need the fuel inside to be very, very hot, and so that's how you make it very, very hot. You just pump in a bunch of energy into the fusion reactor core. So let's grab some capacitors. I have 100 right here. I don't think I'll need that many. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up one on either side of this fusion connector here, and I'm not exactly sure how big I want this to be. I think, and that's not gonna work. I think if I make it something like this, it should be big enough. So first off, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to wrench this side to be essentially show me how much power this capacitor has, and then I'm going to make the rest of this be I/O, or show the input and output. Okay, so we have 3 spaces here, so let's do the same on the other side. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now we need to decide which one is going to be which after I set up the I/O. And I'll probably end up doing the other side, but I'm not going to do that right now. Let's actually do a little bit of digging here. I need to dig over to there. So how I'm going to do this, I think, is just dig a little shallow tunnel right here, like so. Okay, there we go. And here's the flux duct that I'm going to connect up to. So let's grab some cryo-stabilized flux duct, and let's run it this way. Okay, so actually, I regret not moving this tunnel over, and I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. Because if I run it right here, I think I won't have enough room for everything. So let's get rid of this real fast. And then let's tidy this up as well. I think we'll run everything. Okay, so first off, let's do inputs. Okay, why didn't that show up? There it is. Let's actually use this. And then this one can be, okay, so this one can be to jumpstart the reactor. Let's do an output there. And then this one can be input and then output. I think that'll work. And I think how I had everything originally designed would have been fine. Oh well. Okay, so we should start seeing some power? Okay, so either my flux duct is broken somewhere. Let's go ahead and pulse this. See if we got any power this time. Now we do, huh? Interesting. Shouldn't be behaving like that. Anyways, let's just connect this up. That should definitely not be behaving like that, because this is connected all the way up and it is all chunk loaded, so I should be able to draw power from this. No, I shouldn't. I realized what I did. Okay, so what I've done is this is connected to a capacitor, and at the end it is input only, so I'm not going to be able to draw power out of that unless I have some sort of power source over here. So I problematically designed that. One thing I can do is I can turn this reactor on. Now this reactor causes a lot of frame rate lag. Because it's huge. Because I don't need very much power, what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert these control rods And I'm going to put it at 98%. That'll still provide a huge amount of power. And hopefully it'll be enough. So I want to say it'll be somewhere around 100,000 RF per tick. It actually looks like it's going to be more than that. For right now, I think that's all right. Okay, so that guy right there is to jumpstart the reactor. This one will be for the electromagnets. So let's go ahead and set that up. I think let's just continue this tunnel this way. And then we can get to the energy right there. And for this, we're just going to hook it up like that. And then for this side, we can kind of do the same. And I didn't exactly put that where I wanted it, but whatever. This is all underground. You don't need to see it. Okay, so pretty shortly, you should see these electromagnets start to get some power. Yes, they are. Okay, so electromagnet's not powered. I wonder if there are some I missed or something. Right now, everything looks good, as far as I can tell. Okay, so cool. All the electromagnets are powered and ready to go. Let's see what the energy draw is. Yeah, I might need to kick up this reactor a notch. Okay, so I'm making far more power than I actually thought I would. So I'm making 370,000 RF per tick approximately. I think that'll be good enough. So what I'm going to do real fast is I'm going to cover up this giant hole in the ground that I just made. And I can go ahead and do that off camera. And after I have that done, I will be right back. Okay, now I have things tidied up a little bit. Let's start to get the fluid into the reactor. Now what I'm going to do before I actually start trying to do this, let's click this to prevent item overflow, and then what does this actually make? Because I do not have anywhere to put all of this fluid. So if I type in Fusion Reactor here, right click on this, we are going to be using a Deuterium Tritium mix. So let's find that. It should be right here. We're going to be making a helium and neutron fluid. Okay, so none of that is particularly useful. The neutron fluid could be useful if I really wanted it to be. The helium, actually, you know what? I can use the helium because I need to make a cooling system for this reactor, and I can have that use helium. So that's what I'm going to do with the helium. The neutron fluid I think I'm going to avoid, but we'll worry about that when we get to that. For right now, let's grab some fluid export buses. We're going to need 2 of these. And you know what? I think I need a couple buckets. Actually, I don't know what I need because I've never used these before. So, you know what? Let's just take this tunnel. Let's dig it up to the reactor because I need a few things. I obviously need to get power to the reactor. I need to get power from the reactor. And then I need to get the fluids into the reactor. And then I need to get some fluids out of the reactor. So there's going to be a lot of I/O on this reactor, but I think we'll be able to manage. Okay, so I think we're going to do the power can be... let's do the power input over here. Try to get it out of the way of everything else. I'm going to need more flux duct. And I should have grabbed more than that because I'm going to need more for... I'm going to need more to get energy out of the reactor. So this will just connect up like so. And you know what? I don't super want that to be inputting energy just quite yet. So let's actually destroy that connection. And actually I hooked it up to the wrong spot anyways, because that needs to be hooked up right here. And I actually need to wrench this. There we go. Okay, now that should be good. It's hooked up to the right thing. Okay, so let's put our fluid export buses here. And we can put them, let's do here and here. How do I access this? I probably need a bucket, but I'm not entirely sure. So let me try to do this. Yes, that works. Okay, so what I need is a bucket of deuterium and a bucket of tritium. So let's head over to my main base and try to get out a bucket of each of them. So if I go over here, take this door, go through the door, jump up, we have our repositories of deuterium and tritium right here. Now I actually need to get some of this out to make a bucket. And I don't think I can put an empty bucket in here. Can I? No. Okay, so I'm going to need a fluid transposer, I think. And how exactly might I go about this? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab 2 tanks. And these are going to be, actually, you know what? Let's use tanks that already have stuff in them. Because I'm going to set these tanks up right here and here. I'm going to set them to be insert only. And then I need 2 filters. Insert. Wait, what? It's because I have basic item filters. Derp. I need fluid filters for fluids, you know. Okay, so let's try this again. This one will be whitelist. Deuterium right here, and then this one will be tritium. Perfect. Okay, so now we can get rid of these tanks. And what I plan on doing is actually using some empty tanks right here, because I believe I can use just a plain old bucket and grab what I need from them. What did I do? Where did my tank go? Did I put a tank in a tank? Okay, so I didn't actually grab the second tank, it just glitched out, I think. So let's set this to priority 100 billion. And at some point, actually I'm not sure if tritium will be able to even... Okay, so that's not working, and I think I know why. Actually, I would have expected some deuterium, but no tritium. Okay, so let's actually go underneath. Do I pull from the bottom? I can't remember if I pull from the bottom or not. I actually don't think I do. I don't see any connection there. So I must just be pulling from the back, or pulling the fluid out of the back of the tanks. So I think I'm going to have to access the back of the tanks. So to do that, let's go back here. Okay, this is helium-3. That is tritium, and I think deuterium would be right here. Okay, so let's try the same stupid process again. I need a couple fluid filters. And let's grab a couple of tanks with stuff in them. Put these here and... Oh, dumb. I don't know what I think I filled that with helium accidentally. Whoops. So this needs to be input only with a fluid. Deuterium, and then I could have left that tank right there, but whatever. This also input only, and this needs to be tritium. Okay, so, and I should have wrenched that. Apparently it's a lot faster. Okay, so yes, that's helium-3. I need another empty tank here. Cool. Okay, so I think what I can do is I can grab a couple of empty buckets here and do that. Okay, so now I have a tritium and deuterium bucket. Cool. And now we can get rid of these tanks and we can replace everything and pretend we were never here. Okay, now I can set up the fluid filters on the other side, and hopefully everything works as planned. About time. Whoa, freeze. Okay, so tritium, deuterium, fantastic. Now we need to actually hook these up to my applied energistic system, so grab some covered cable, and I forget what color I'm using. Red. So let's get red. That's all I have for red? I don't know if that's actually enough. If it's not, I can make more. I don't know why I did it that way. It's more efficient if I do it this way. Yeah, I'm gonna need more. That's not a super problem though, so I was gonna say, hopefully that won't take too long to craft up. And I should have some rose or some red dye. Yes, I do. Let's go ahead and make 64. That will be enough. So let's do that. And hopefully we should start seeing deuterium and tritium start to creep into here at some point. It will probably take a little while for these export buses to connect up. The next thing I need to do is I need to get power from the reactor into the main energy grid over here. And I have thought of a mild complication here. You know what? I think it'll be alright. Yeah, I'm thinking some power will leak from this reactor directly into here. Even though the main flux line I have set up right here is input only to my main system, I'm still getting some power right here that'll be in this flux line. I'm not going to worry about that though. I don't think there's a whole lot I can do to stop that from happening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hook that up so that we can get this reactor heating up. I'm still not seeing any fuel get in there, but like I said, I think it usually takes it a while to hook up, especially since my applied energistic system is so big. It takes a while for it to actually recognize. So let's... Okay, this should be good. This should give us connection. Okay, so I'm trapped. Okay, so we're seeing deuterium and tritium get in here. What I am going to do right now is I'm going to go back to my main base. I'm going to take a nap, and then I'm going to come back. I'm going to clean this up a little bit, and then we need to make a cooling system for this reactor. So yeah, when after I have all this cleaned up, I will be right back to finish up this build. And my reactor should have just become active. It is producing power. It's also producing a lot of leftover fluids, and we're going to have to do something with those. But for right now, I have actually come up with a system to get energy out of the reactor and not accidentally bleed it the wrong way through the flux duct here, and that is with some capacitors. So for the output, I have just this one cryo-stabilized flux duct, but I plan to connect it up to a large capacitor that is input only on this side, and then will be output only on the other side. So let's just build this capacitor out. I need it to be as big as it can because I have a feeling this reactor this fusion reactor is going to be able to produce quite a bit of power. So I need to make this capacitor quite large here so that it can handle all of the power coming out of the reactor. So unfortunately, let's see if I have some more. I do. Okay, so I need to set this to be output only. Output, cool. And then these two blocks right there. Okay, so that should be good. Okay, so it is... Wait, did you stop? It did, it stopped. Okay, so it stopped because the output tanks, I think, are full. Yeah. So I need to do something about that in a hurry. Now, what I plan to do with the helium is I plan to bring it to some supercoolers. Yes, and I'm not sure how many of these I'm going to need, but I plan to chill the helium down to actually cool the reactor itself. Because if I were to just leave this on, this would eventually blow up because it would become too hot. Okay, so one more thing I need to do is I need to add some speed upgrades to the export buses. So let's grab some acceleration cards here, because I realize they're struggling to keep up. As you can see, they're actually running a little negative right there. Okay, so if I drop down here, throw in some acceleration cards, let's see if it's struggling to keep up now. No, it looks like it's good now. Cool. Okay, so now we need to get fluids out. Let's see, where do I have somewhere where I can actually access the reactor? So how about actually the side over here? So I'm gonna need some fluid conduit of some sort. So inner fluid conduit should be good. Let's see, I don't need those capacitors anymore. I will need these. I will probably need some of that. So let's grab a... Actually, you know what? Let's just void the neutron fluid. So let's grab a trash can or something. Is this... Do I have nullifier? Do I have a nullifier? I do not. So you know what? Let's make the liquid trash can if we can. Okay, that should be good. And then we'll take this interfluid conduit right here. We are going to be extract only. And first off, let's have a trash can right there. Let's have this be insert, and let's actually get a filter. Actually, I'm going to need multiple filters here. And then I'm going to need some speed upgrades as well. I have a feeling that I'm going to be producing so much fluid that I definitely need these speed upgrades here. Okay, so that looks good right now. Obviously, this thing is producing a lot of power already. it will be producing a lot more. As you can see, the efficiency is 0 and it's already producing 30,000 RF per tick. That's pretty insane. Anyways, so let's run our cooling line, and let's grab a shovel. And let's grab this shovel, actually, because I can configure it to do 1 by 1 with a dig depth of, let's say, 5. What that allows me to do is dig out large stretches really quickly. Unfortunately, of course, everything comes with problems. You know what? We're not going to worry about that. We should be able to run this fluid conduit right through the water. And that's all this hole is for. Okay, that should be far enough, I think. Okay, so I think I'm going to have my active fluid coolers somewhere along, like, right here. Which means that underneath I need to have a super cooler. Active fluid cooler. What are they called? There it is. So I have these. First I want the helium to go into a black hole tank. And I didn't mean to toss those. So let's, you know, it'd be smart if I had a tank with something in it. Okay, so this will work. I need to set up this to be insert only, and I need it to be only helium. Okay, so we're whitelisting. We also want to set this as a positive priority. This over here needs to be a negative priority. I want the helium, if it can, to go over here. Okay, so let's get rid of this. We should be able to stick down this black hole tank, and it should be only helium. Okay, we should start seeing lots of helium. That's fantastic. Next, we need to get the helium to a supercooler, and that supercooler needs to be powered. So let's dig out a little more area. Let's do dig depth 0. And we need power for the supercooler, so that's why I'm doing this. I need to access this flex duct over here. Let's put a, you know what, let's put a few supercoolers down. And let's also grab some speed upgrades if we can. I'm not sure if I need these or not. I very well might not even need them. Okay, so there's where we have access. Nope. Okay, so the power will just run out like so. We're going to have ender fluid conduit up here. And that will simply connect up to all of these guys. Then I need to set up all of the active fluid coolers to be input only. Can I reach it? I can. And then these need to be extract only. They need to be always on. Okay, so I didn't set that up super well. This will be extract only. This will be insert only. And then over here I'll have the same. Insert only. Extract only. Okay, so at some point we should start seeing. Okay, so we definitely need some speed upgrades, it looks like. Let's start out with 16. Okay, so 3,000 RF per tick is actually nothing, so that's not too bad. And then let's do 5 more for each one. Okay, so let's see if they're actually... if we're actually getting any cooling. Okay, right now we're at 55%, which is not quite good enough. And I'm not sure if all of these tanks have helium in them or not. Wait, why are you not going? Oh, it is. Okay, I see what's going on. Am I actually not getting enough helium? You know, let's put a fluid filter in here, and let's whitelist neutron fluid. I actually don't think that's affecting it. I think I'm just actually not getting enough helium out of this reactor, which is weird. I really thought I would. Yeah, I'm not getting nearly enough helium. That's odd. So I need helium collectors. And I need more than that. Yeah, let's try that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for these helium collectors to craft up, and then I'm going to be right back. So I have some of these dense helium collectors made. I actually, on camera, said to produce some compact helium collectors, but the dense helium collectors provide 8 times as much helium. What I'm going to do with these guys is I'm going to place one of them under each one of the supercoolers here, and that will provide a little additional helium. I'm going to put one on the side, each side, and then I am going to put, as soon as I get another one, directly below this helium tank here. Now obviously it looks like that at least seems to have remedied the problem as far as the supercoolers being starved goes, but let's see. Are we actually getting enough in here? Right now it looks like all of them have just a little bit in them. So good. My cooling rate is actually above the 5,000 Kelvin per tick that I need. So I'm going to call that good. Obviously it's not the cleanest or the best system in the world, but whatever, it works. So yeah, as of right now, we're at 78% efficiency with 3 million RF per tick. 3 million. That's insane. So I actually will need to expand my capacitor as it can only handle 2.55 million RF per tick. But that's crazy. It's not even up to its full potential yet. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to wait on this reactor to heat up to whatever it'll get to at its max temperature, because the active cooling rate right now that I have is bouncing between 5,500 and 6187. It's not actually going to get up to 100% efficiency, but I would like to see how high it can go with its current configuration and how much power exactly this thing's going to produce. So when this thing heats up to close to 100% efficiency, I will be back to wrap up the episode. And here we are. The reactor is now at 90% efficiency. I actually removed a couple coolers from over there. So now we are really close to being able to get this thing to 100% efficiency. The active cooling rate for a 100% efficiency reactor would be 5,000 Kelvin per tick. I'm going to have slightly too much cooling, so it should get up to like 97, 98, 99% efficiency, something like that. But anyways, right now it's producing 3.5 million RF per tick. And yeah, I've already filled up this giant capacitor. Essentially, I just expanded the capacitor that is underground and include this section right here, just basically to show how much power we're making and how much power we're using right now from the reactor. But anyways, I think this is a nice completed build. So in today's episode, I built this monstrous fusion reactor. This is the largest fusion reactor you can make when you are using the default configuration file for the mod NuclearCraft. And I am using the best fuel, Deuterium and Tritium, to make the most power. Now, once that reactor is closer to 100% efficiency, it will make something like 3.8 million RF per tick, which is an absolute insane amount of power. Obviously, I don't actually need this amount of power, and I will have to shut this reactor down as I am probably going through my tritium way faster than I'm producing it. But anyways, I think this is pretty cool that I'm able to make this much power with this awesome huge reactor here. So anyways, if you liked today's episode, definitely give it a like. If you like watching automation in modded Minecraft, definitely consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. Anyways, signing off, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and I will see you next time.